The case of Mary Kay, 34, and her unusual attachment to Villi Fualaau, an 8-year-old second grader, is arguably one of the strangest love stories that will leave you questioning what truly went wrong. Despite being married to Stephen and raising 4 wonderful children together, Mary chose to abandon her marriage to be with Villi, who was now 12 years old and in 6th grade. Even having 2 children with him, her obsession with the boy was so intense that even on her deathbed, her final words to Villi were, "You are the most important person in my life." Is this a case of real love or child grooming? Watch the full video to find out. Mary Kay Letourneau was an elementary school teacher at Shorewood Elementary School in Washington when she first met second grader Villi Fualaau, who was 8 years at the time. This was in September 1991. She admired Villi's artistic skills and thought he was really talented. Therefore, she kept a close relationship with the boy. She would often buy him art supplies, take him to the museum. She seemed like a nice and caring teacher every kid would love to have. Only that Mary was not Villi's class teacher. She taught 6th grade, whilst Villi was in 2nd grade. Fast forward to the fall of 1995. Villi was now in 6th grade and 12 years old, and Mary was his class teacher. To Villi, Madam Mary was just being nice to him, but it was deeper than that. Mary, who was then 33 years old, was deeply in love and obsessed with the 6th grader. What makes this even weird is that Mary was a married woman. Mary at the time was married to Steve Letourneau, her university sweetheart with whom she has 4 children. The couple met at Arizona State University where they started dating. Some months into their relationship and Mary became pregnant and suffered complications. At the hospital, doctors discovered she was pregnant with twins, but one could not survive. However, the other was safe. Therefore, she carried the pregnancy to term and gave birth to a healthy baby. Following her delivery, Mary's parents forced her to marry Steve, whose parents at the time also insisted that he marries the mother of his child. As the social pressures became intense, the couple agreed and got married, knowing well that they weren't in love. They both had to drop out of university and move to Alaska to start a life together. Steve worked as a baggage handler for Alaska Airlines, but was transferred a year later to Seattle, Washington. Mary gave birth to their second child there and subsequently enrolled in Seattle University, where she was awarded a degree in teaching, and this was in the year 1989. Villi Fualaau, on the other hand, is a product of a broken home. His father had been married 5 times and he has 17 siblings. Things were pretty rough for him, and as a child, he lacked parental love and affection. Mary became so obsessed with Villi that she would even take the boy home to do his schoolwork during the summer. They were so close to the extent that the boy even made a $20 bet with a friend that he would sleep with their teacher, Miss Mary, because she has begun fantasizing about him. Mary and Steve's marriage was at the verge of breaking at this point. They had troubles including emotional and physical, abuse, multiple extramarital affairs from both parties, and financial issues. With her troubled marriage, Mary found solace with 12-year-old Villi. She even wrote in a book, "I had promised myself it would not happen before my divorce." But just some few days before Villi turns 13, Mary had sex with him. By the time Villi turned 13 in 1996, Miss Mary was actively sleeping with him. They tried so hard to keep their relationship a secret, but one day they were caught by police at a parking lot. Someone had called the police to inform them that they saw a drunk driver at a parking lot. When they got there, Mary was seen jumping into the front seat, while Villi pretended to be asleep in the passenger seat. They saw Mary with Villi, but when she was questioned, she told the police she was his teacher, and Villi's mom was aware that he was with her. Therefore, she was left off the hook. Soon, rumors about their relationship began to spread, but Mary, unperturbed, continued her illicit relationship with Villi. They would even climb the rooftop of Villi's family home to have sex. This went on and on until Mary became pregnant. Note that Mary was 34 and Villi was 13 at this point. Mary was pregnant with Villi while she was still married to her husband Steve. In 1997, Steve began suspecting that Mary was cheating on him. In February of 1997, Steve came across his wife's love letters at their home, which confirmed that indeed his wife was seeing another man, specifically a boy in her class. But unknown to him, his 6-month-old pregnant wife was carrying his lover's child and not his. In anger, Steve moved out of their house, and soon after, a relative of Steve called the officials at the Shorewood Elementary School to report Mary's affair with Villi. 4th March 1997, Mary was arrested and charged with child rape. Initially, Mary maintained that she had no idea she was committing a crime. According to Mary, they were in love and she never forced Villi, therefore it couldn't count as a crime. Even her lawyer had a hard time making her understand that what she did was actually a crime. Eventually, Mary pleaded guilty to a second-degree rape of a 13-year-old. During her trial, she promised never to repeat her mistakes again. 2 months after being charged, Mary gave birth to their first daughter, Audrey, on 29th May 1997. The state sought to jail Mary for 6.5 years, but through a plea agreement, which stated that Mary would get help, be on treatment for 3 years, and stay off Villi for life, her sentencing was reduced to 6 months, with 3 months suspended later. Her daughter was placed in the care of Villi and his mother. Mary was released from prison after 3 months and was forbidden any contact with Villi. But on February 3, 1998, exactly a month after her release, Mary was again caught by officers on parole, making out in a car with Villi. Items such as baby clothes, young men's clothes, and passports, and an amount of $6,200, which had a lot of value back then, were found in the car. She was arrested for violating the no contact order and was brought back to face the same judge who had earlier accepted her plea agreement. Mary was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison, but surprisingly, she was pregnant again. On October 16, 1998, Mary and Villi's second child, Georgia, was born in jail. Whilst in prison, Mary would secretly send Villi love letters. They even co-authored a book which was published in French in 1999 titled Only One Crime, Love, whilst Mary was still in jail. While Mary was in jail, Villi dropped out of high school, suffered from depression and suicide tendencies. His teenage years were stolen from him. He and his mother were given custody of Audrey and Georgia. On August 4, 2004, Mary was released from prison and Villi at the time was 21. He persuaded the court to reverse the no contact order against Mary. The couple were determined to live together and now it was legal. And on 20th May 2005 in the city of Woodinville, Washington, Mary and Villi got married in front of 200 guests. Audrey and Georgia were 7 and 8 when Mary was released from prison. Mary became a court clerk at the same court she appeared heavily pregnant in 1997 when she faced her first trial, whilst Villi worked at a home improvement store and also as a DJ. On May 9, 2017, after nearly 12 years of marriage, Villi filed for separation from Mary, but later, he toyed with it and withdrew the filing. But 2 years later, in August 2019, Villi would file another legal separation from Mary, stating that it's really over this time. According to sources, Villi fell out of love with Mary at a point in the marriage, but they kept hopes up that things will work out. And mostly, their marriage lasted longer than expected because Villi stayed just for the sake of his 2 daughters. Coming from a broken home himself, he was determined to give their 2 daughters a much better upbringing. Mary passed away the following year on July 6, 2020, due to colon cancer. It's said that during her illness, Villi still came around to take care of her until her last breath. Mary died at the age of 58, leaving behind 6 children, and these were her last words to Villi: "You are the most important person in my life." Dear listener, my question to you today is this a story of true love or child grooming? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, you may want to check out this one too, because I know you love it. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.